How you guys doing today? It's Rival TCG back again with another video. So I posted a Shank list recently, and I understand that I did. But after playing with it more, I'm coming to find out that there's actually just no perfect deck list for this deck. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you the more recent build that I have been playing. Um, but what I'm also gonna do is show you other ways that you could play this deck because sincerely, like there's just no one way to play this deck. Um, You can play the control variant. You can play the more aggro variant. You can play the more consistent variant. Like, I don't even know. I don't even want to say the more consistent variant. What I mean by consistent is like just playing your four of specific cards that you want to see. The thing is what I'm realizing is just you just can't tech in for literally everything. Like you basically have to choose, you know, the specific way that you want to play the build. I'm going to show you my most recent build where I went undefeated with it. And then, you could kind of decide on the other builds that I'm going to show off as well. But of course, playing the leader, I'm just going to take that leader out because it just looks hideous. So right now for the 2K lineup, I'm on 4 Otama. This is the same Otama. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn when you on-play it. So it's just a great 2K counter, and you're minus their attack. You got the Sanji. When it's active main, once per turn, you may add one card from the top of your life cards to your hand, and this character gains plus 2,000 in return, then give this character up to 2 rested down. I can tell you later on why, if you don't already know why it's there, just for the newer players. We got the 4 lime juices. So on play, your opponent cannot activate one blocker character that has 4,000 power or less during the turn. You're probably really not going to really use it for that very often, but it's still an option there. But mainly it's a 2K counter. Like 99% of the time you're using this as a 2K counter. And you got your Hongo, which is a little bit more useful. That just says you may rest this character if your leader has red hair pirates type. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during the turn. So it's just a constant minus 2,000. This is good against decks that can't really pop your field. Terrible against the red mirror, of course, but so this is one of those cards that people are playing and people aren't. Like, it's a great card, but against certain matchups like Dofi, it just kind of gets bounced. So we got the Lucky Rocks to blocker, and then if your leader has red hair type pirates, KO up to one of your opponent's character cards with a base power of 6,000 or less, which is so nice. It definitely is really, really nice if it can actually do the effect properly. So yeah, really, really strong card. You got your 4 Porcas D Ace. It's Rush if your leader had Whitebeard Pirates. If it was just Rush in general, my goodness, this card would be insane. But on once per turn, if this card would be removed from your field by your opponent's effect, you may give this character minus 2,000 power during a turn instead. So even if he puts it on the bottom of the deck, even if he trashes it, even if he KOs, it does not matter. Any type of removal, this card stays on the field. The card's just really, really strong. In the red mirror, you definitely need to see this card. The next card I'm playing is, which, I'm just trying it out. I like the card, but it's Marco from OP09. On play, KO up to one of your opponents on your turn. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a 3,000 power or less, and then on KO, you may trash one event from your hand, and you may play this character from your trash rested. So card's strong, but I'm starting to realize like it's not really as important to have. Like it just comes up here and there. It doesn't always come up, and I feel like if you're gonna cut a card, I would consider cutting this card, but it's just also a strong card. Like, it could stick on the body depending on the matchup. So yeah, that's gonna be one of the cards that I show you where we don't play it in this variation, or in another variation, I should say. For Ben Beckman, I think any deck variation you're playing for this is trash up to one of your opponent's characters with a 6,000 power or less. Really strong card. Nothing really much to say about that. Silver Rayleigh's, of course, probably one of the best cards, second best or the best card in the deck. But select up to 2 of your opponent's characters and give one character minus 3,000 power and the other 2,000 minus power to the end of your opponent's next turn. So it's basically a Whitebeard effect, but for them to have less power. And then KO to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. Card's extremely, extremely necessary. It's a little expensive right now if you didn't pick them up before, but very strong card. You got 4 Monkey D. Dragon, in my opinion, probably the best card in the deck, or at least the second, debatable. It's a rush card, and then give up to 2 rested character cards to your leader or one of your characters on play. Really, really strong card. Definitely have to play 4 of. I see decks playing 3 of. I don't think it's a mistake, but I just think it's just a really strong card. Next, we got the 10-drop Shanks. Give all your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power, and then rush. So on plays rush, and it's just a passive 1K. You can stack these in the mirror, you are looking great. That's pretty much the best reason for that card there. Outside of that, I don't think you play 4. I don't think this card wins you games. I think it's just a win more card. And you tap yourself out. And we're playing events to, defensive events, which I'm going to show you. You play the 2 Gold D Roger because really, it has a win con. I see sometimes people taking this card out. I don't think it's a mistake. You could play it, you could not play it. It's really up to you on that. This is the combo. Essentially, you have the Sanji out on the board. Kill yourself, get your life to your hand, and then, if that actually works. But I've never tried to pull it off. Most of the time, I'm using the 2K counter from Sanji. So, yeah. Card I wasn't on originally, which is actually just really strong. You got the 4 Gum Gum Fire Fist Pistol Red Hawk. Counter one of your leaders' character gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. Then KO one of your opponent's characters with a minus 4,000 power or less. So essentially, you use your leader ability, and it minuses one of their characters, like a 5K, and then you can kill this off with this. Most good players, like if they're playing against Dofi or something like that, they're going to just put Dawn on one of their 5Ks. So you kind of have to be careful for that. It can kind of really just kill your play. You can still defend yourself, of course, but you're not going to get the full value. So cards like it's strong, but you got to be careful for this. I was on 2 Guard Point. This one's up to one of your leaders gains 3,000 power during the battle. Why I chose Guard Point at first is just because you're at constant 3K power, but I think Radical Beam's better. You can try either or. You can't go wrong with either or. I just think that the Radical Beam's better. They have the same on-trigger ability. I tried this. I went undefeated with it, but, nonetheless. And then the last card is just a 0-cost event. You may trash 1 card from your hand up to one of your leader or character gains plus 3,000 power. Since you play a lot of bricks, that's why I would recommend playing this. So this is the whole deck list there. My thoughts on it. So I think it's a very solid list. I think it's a lot better than the first one I originally made. Now, there's ways that you can tweak this. So a lot of people are on the Silver Rayleighs. The Silver Rayleighs is if your opponent has 2 or more characters with the base power of 5,000 power or more, draw 2 cards, trash 1 card from your hand. My biggest gripe about this is like, it really is just if you're playing against Dofi or maybe Luffy. Like, I'd rather control the board, or I'd rather play something that's going to stick. So let's just say I play this, they bottom deck it. I don't know. They have ways to doing that. When you have an ace on the board, you could just minus power and then the body sticks. So like if I'm going first and I'm playing, I'd rather probably play this out first. In my opinion, I'm not the best player in the world, but that's just what I think. If you guys have any other type of thought process on that, definitely let me know. But that's just in my opinion on why I like the ace. I like the Marco because if you're playing against Blackbeard, you really just want to kind of just go face every single turn. The Marco gets rid of their Don Q or whatever searcher they have going on. So you don't have to pretty much stop yourself because every turn that you're not attacking that leader, you're doing them a favor just so they can get up to that, to their Marshall D Teach blocker and just sit there the whole game. That's the idea with that. Another card that I was trying were the 4 Rush Zoros. This is the Rush. That's all it is. Just 3 drop, 5 Rush. Cards strong. Definitely very, very, very strong. But in my opinion, I don't like the bricks. We're already on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bricks in the deck. If you want to count these as bricks, you could, technically, because, you know, in reality, you're going to have to keep Dawn up, so you have to literally stop your whole turn. So, in my opinion, I don't know. It's a tough call. It really is a tough call on what you rather do. Um, so this is why I was saying, like, this is one of those decks where, like, this is not a clear cut, easy deck to make, like Dofi or maybe Purple Luffy. Like, there's really only so many different types of cards that you can put. Um, Another option that you have, like I said, is the Radical Beam. So you can just take those guard points out of Radical Beams. I don't have the Radical Beams on me, but essentially that card is when you have 2 or less life, you gain plus 4,000 during a counter. So basically the same thing as this, but plus 4,000 with a condition. If you don't have 2 or less life, then you're only plus 2k. So that's why this card's strong in the beginning. I'm only playing this many events also is because we're playing Marco's. Marco, you have to pitch an event out of your hand so that you can keep it alive. So that's another reason why I'm also playing so many events in here. I originally had the Whitebeard build. It's a great build. This deck has way too many bricks with these cards on it. So it's just you're getting to the point where, like, you don't even live to the late game, and this is a mid-range deck. You don't even live that far because they're just busy attacking your life. Like, everybody that I've played, everybody that's good, just attacks Shanks' life. Like, they don't do nothing else but just swing at life. And if you don't have the counter to make you live till late game, then you're kind of done for. Like, you're just not gonna win. So if you wanted to add Zoros, you could maybe take one of each out of Lucky Rocks, Portuski Ace. So basically, take out Marco, take out Ace, and take out a Lucky Rocks, and this will be the balanced build, where you're just playing three of these Zoros. You could do that route. You could be more consistent and play 4. Like I said, like with this list, there's just no perfect list. For me, what I like, because I'm just not a fan of bricks. Like, bricks just lose me the game. Like, I literally saw my friend had 8 bricks in his whole hand. 8 cards in hand, every single one was a brick. Didn't have the 0 cost to bail him out. So, it's just a tough build. So, in my opinion, I like this build. But what sucks about this card is they have the 4-drop law when you're playing against Dofi, because Dofi's still the best deck in the game. That card will just completely just bounce this every single time. Or a good Dofi player will just put Dawn on their card so that even when you try to Red Hawk them, they just basically return your Lucky Rocks back to your hand. It's good early game if they don't have the card, but most of the time they have it. So, not to mention, they can look at the top 5 cards so many times. If they don't see it there and they have another Perona in hand, they'll just look at the top 5 again, look at 10 cards. Oh, there's the law, put it on the top, and, kind of cooking you. So, yeah, this is my list, though. Like I said, the other list that I would also run will be just to remove one of these 3 and just play 3 Zoros. That way you have more of a balanced build. Remove these, put the Radical Beams. The Radical Beams are just a lot better. Outside of that, I would say this is a super solid list. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and again, sorry for posting multiple Shanks builds. It's just after playing it, this is how I feel like it should look like. Something like this. So have a good day, guys. Thanks for watching.